Back in McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Final hour underway. Going to get to Tyler Watts, member of the Alabama radio broadcast team, here in just a moment. Before we do that, G-Mac, tell our listeners about Bromberg's.
Well, Bromberg's where I've been going for a very long time. I always appreciate the experience I have when I walk in the door and visit with the professionals at Bromberg's. They're incredible. Always greatly appreciate how they help me, how they direct me in the right place, how they help me understand what's important, what I should be looking at, all these other things. And right now is a great time to go to Bromberg's for the David Yurman cleaning event that starts today and tomorrow at the Summit store. You bring in your David Yurman jewelry to be professionally cleaned and polished, free of charge. While you're there, you can check out the brand new fall and holiday designs, maybe even find a new piece to add to your collection. So call Bromberg's at the Summit today to reserve your spot.
All right, let's go to Tyler Watts, member of the Alabama radio broadcast team. Tyler, impressive win for Bama. We said it earlier. Don't know if they're going to get the credit that they necessarily deserve because we think this is a pretty good Vanderbilt football team. I want to start with this. How much difference does Jam Miller make, in your opinion, when he's on the field?
It definitely helps out, and that's not to take anything away from Kevin Riley. He's a bigger bodied back, and hey, listen, anybody could have ran inside those holes that the offensive line was creating on Saturday. They absolutely dominated the line of scrimmage in a way we hadn't seen all year long. But the Jam's pretty doggone special. He had one pass pro where he missed a little twist that Ty Simpson had to throw away on a fourth down to Latsier Brooks. But other than that, man, he's good in pass pro. Obviously, he runs stinking hard, and you can just tell he's kind of a leader of that offense, and they feed off of him.
How would you assess the run game for Alabama and the improvements that have been made there, just to kind of across the board? Because it did look like, man, there's a lot of progress that's been made from week one to where they're at right now. And what is the ceiling for the run game in general?
Well, hopefully it maintains kind of the status quo right now because they're dominating the line of scrimmage and really just kind of possession. And I know they didn't run for all that many yards versus Georgia, but they stayed committed to it. And then obviously had just feasted on the ground attack all day on Saturday versus Vanderbilt. And y'all kind of mentioned it. Just Vandy's really good, really talented. Maybe they don't have the depth that some other teams have. And really the first time they've had to play as much on Saturday as they have all season long. And you could tell they were absolutely gassed and wore out there in the fourth quarter and just had no answers for stopping that run game. But when you can control the clock, obviously that's your best defense that you can have. And, man, you really want to lean on that. And as explosive as these receivers are, you're going to get defenses that back up for fear of getting beat deep. And that's just going to open up opportunities if you're able to be dominant up front.
Tyler Watts with us, a member of the Alabama radio broadcast team, was there in Bryant-Denny Stadium for Bama's win against Vandy. What was your opinion of Vandy going in, and what was it coming out, just based on what you saw?
Scared to death going in because of what I'd seen all year long and what they had done to South Carolina. Now, granted, Lenore Sellers wasn't out there, but when he was, they were moving the football, so I was confident in our ability to be able to score points pretty much every time that we touch it, at least have an opportunity to. But defensively, could we stop them? And, hey, it didn't look so hot there on the first two drives as they go right down the field. And fortunately, Justin Jefferson's able to get that strip and force the turnover inside the red zone. But they left points on the board. So I am just as impressed with Vanderbilt coming out of that game as I was going in. They are absolutely a tough football team. They might give up some yardage, but, man, when you start getting inside the 30, 20-yard line, it's difficult to punch it in the end zone because they're just so stinking sound. I mean, there's just not a ton of windows that they'll give most teams. And even when you do catch it, they rally and tackle so well.
I really like them. I think they're excellent. Really good football team, good college football team, and one that I think is going to be a problem for a lot of folks. How do you feel about the run defense and some of the adjustments that were made?
I don't know what they did, but I loved it. I loved how we weren't passive. We weren't waiting on the play to develop and then trying to react. We seemed to be in much more of an attack mode. And as you mentioned earlier, kind of got some trouble earlier as everyone was kind of right at the line of scrimmage. But that's a good offensive line for Vanderbilt. They're going to be able to move some guys around and establish the line of scrimmage. But, man, we really, I thought, took the press to them and kind of took away what they wanted to do. I thought going in that Cedric Alexander was kind of the key to stopping their offense, because if you can eliminate those running backs' ability to be effective, and that kind of limits what Diego Pavia is able to do. Because quite honestly, I mean, he's take advantage of you when you put too much attention on the running backs and when they're having a field day. And, you know, the key for me going into this ball game was, could we get up 2 scores? Because I thought that Vanderbilt hadn't been pressed all year. That's not what they want to do. They don't want to play from behind. They want to play within a one-possession game or even up. That's when their ball control offense really comes into play. But it did not look good early on, as they almost went up 2 scores on us, but able to fight back. And once we finally were able to go up 9 points, you could tell that's not where Diego Pavia is comfortable. He does not want to just sit back without the threat of the run and try to pick you apart in the secondary. Of course, I say that, and he had a 4th and 21, and daggum near hit Eli Stowers for a first down. So, look, he's a talented, just a gritty player, man. I mean, he's just a baller that gets out there, and the bigger the game, typically the better he plays. However, he had 2 turnovers that were costly for him, and that ended up being the difference.
I don't think there's any doubt. What did you like about Bama's defense? We referenced the Jordan Jefferson forced fumble, probably play of the game, where Alabama was at that time. And I thought you said it perfectly, getting up 2 scores, getting up 14 points, because you really would then put the pressure on Vanderbilt's offense to be something that they're not comfortable being. That happens if that fumble doesn't come out right there. So the other way, not necessarily in Bama's favor, but that allows Vanderbilt to all of a sudden be up 2 scores. Just what stuck out to you on Alabama's defense?
Well, I love how the linebackers are playing. I thought that Yonze Pierre had a great game once again in what he was able to do, and he's kind of, to me, emerging as your pass rush threat, especially on throwing downs. Justin Hill is a young guy that got in a lot of snaps over the course of the game. London Simmons continues to rotate in and do a nice job of providing depth. So I'm starting to see more guys on the defensive front being able to contribute. Edric Hill had a good day as well. So you got a lot of bodies that you're starting to develop and get some experience, and you're going to need that going down the stretch. Hey, one guy that I really, Damani Jackson, I thought might have had the second play of the game on the 4th down conversion, something that he really has not been known for all year long, with being a physical cornerback. He came up and set the edge and made that tackle on Diego Pavia for a loss, and that was kind of uncharacteristic of him over the course of the season of what we've seen, but I was glad that he came up and was physical.
I think it was a good move, too, because early that first touchdown, he didn't do that. So he made some adjustments, I feel like, in the game, and played much better as the game went along as a result. This matchup this week is a tough one for sure. We know how good Ahmad Hardy is, the running back. We know how good Missouri's rushing attack has been, top 3 in the country. They're averaging almost 300 a game on the ground. A little more traditional than Vanderbilt, but will provide a lot of challenges for sure. However, they've played the 109th ranked strength of schedule, so it's hard to draw a ton of conclusions on Mizzou. So how do you like the matchup this weekend?
Feel more comfortable with it because of the more traditional style of offense that they play. But, they'll take some of those same concepts and try to apply them as best as they can. Like with any other game, when you're going against a dominant running football team, you got to be able to set the edge and try to limit their success on 1st and 2nd down, put them in tough positions. Last year when Missouri came to town, we were able to do that, put them in 3rd and long situations. Of course, their quarterback play is head and shoulders better than what it was on that day when they were playing their backup quarterback. So, look, it'll be a tough game, and I think this is the one that everyone on the inside kind of is a little bit more concerned with from a trap standpoint of, you got Vandy. That was the one that you had circled, but now you found out how mature your football team is, and can they get back to work? I think they're confident in where they are and the progress that they're making, and if you're wanting to be, type of football team that, Greg, you always played on, then you're always focused on the next game and just trying to improve on a weekly basis and making sure you do what you need to do to get up and get ready to play. Anything
you left this game more concerned about, kind of saying to yourself, okay, great, got the win, but, man, heading to Mizzou next weekend, not so sure about this part?
Well, you got to finish drives, and I think the biggest concern that I had was Ty Simpson down inside the red zone, listening for as many talented throws as he had over the course of that day. I mean, ones that very few college football quarterbacks are going to be able to make down the sidelines in those tight windows. when you get inside the 25-yard line, you can't take sacks. You can't hold on to the ball too long. And he even acknowledged that in the post game of, that was unacceptable. I got to throw the ball away. Sometimes when you're talented, you're trying to extend plays and make things happen because you are able to do that. But you can't take a sack in those situations. And then the ball security, although the fumble that he had was ruled down, you got to make sure that anytime you're in traffic, you got two hands on the ball and it's tight, because you can't afford, like Diego Pavia, to put it on the ground. That could be a difference. So, you learn from that. You move forward and you try to just remember it next time that you're in that situation, to take care of the football, not put your team in a bad situation. Because quite honestly, the field goal team, I think you feel pretty comfortable with them 35-40 in, but outside of that, it's you just don't know.
Tyler, we always appreciate the time. Love having you in on Mondays to talk Bama and things that you saw being there in the stadium. Did you intentionally avoid Greg on Saturday?
Listen, I cover Alabama every single week, home and away, and he has access to places they will never give me access to. So, kind of like the Ivory Club versus the A Club.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
We didn't know it was like that, but now no.
Me neither.
So,
That's good to know. That's great to know. I didn't know that. That's big. That's big.
Appreciate you, Tyler.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Tyler Watts joining us there on the Higginbotham Hotline. We'll catch up with him again at the same time next week. I'll tell you guys about Game Day Men's Health. If you are feeling on edge, if you're lacking sleep, lacking energy, Game Day Men's Health wants to help you today, and they can do it like this. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Sign up for the free consultation. You'll go in, free PSA test, free testosterone test. They'll let you know what your baseline health is, then give you the options that they have. Weight loss programs, testosterone replacement, the peptides are in stock. There's just a lot of ways for them to potentially help you getting back to feeling great. Locker room environment, no stress, holistic approach to health and wellness. See what they can do for you today by visiting GameDayMen'sHealth.com. They're open in Trustville, and those weight loss programs can be shared with you there in Trustville in person by going to GameDayMen'sHealth.com today. All right, when we come back, more on the college football weekend. A couple SEC games we hadn't hit yet. We'll do that right after this on Jocks. If you need to do something, G-Mac, I can hold it for a minute.
No, you're good. I'll wait till the next break. Run to the restroom real quick.
I'm wondering, like, are we connected?
I don't know. I don't hear anybody.
Because that thing cut in. So
Yeah. They didn't text us, did they?
didn't see anything. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. It is 9:16, Monday, October the 6th, right here on Jocks 94.5. A lot more to get to from over the college football weekend. We've mentioned Alabama's win against Vandy, 30-14. Bama 4-1, Vandy 5-1. Ryan Williams, 6 catches, 98 yards. He did have another drop, G-Mac. That makes 13 drops for him this year. That is second most in all of college football. You weren't concerned about it last week. Are you still just kind of okay, saying we'll figure it out?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm concerned about it. I mean, I don't love it. The third down drop could have put the game on ice. It was in the red zone. I mean, that would have been a big moment on 3rd and 5 on the roll right Q8.
Yeah.
And it was unfortunate, right? I mean, well thrown ball, let it get into his body, kind of lost it as he was going to the ground. So yeah, unfortunate, but he also made some plays in that game that were like hard to coach. So with him, I think I'm treating him like a true freshman. I know it sounds crazy, but that's the way I'm treating him.
Yeah.
And with true freshmen, you're going to have high highs and low lows. Like, I'll take Ryan Williams on the field all day long. He's giving great effort. He's trying. He's doing everything he can, but I'm treating him like a true freshman. He's a young player that's going to have drops. He's going to have inconsistencies, but his great moments are going to vastly outweigh some of the downside moments that we've seen at times throughout the last 2 years.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. And of course, you want your star players to have every opportunity to make plays. He did. I mean, run after the catch was nice from him in this game. He helped the quarterback out a little bit by going and finding a football that was possibly a little bit underthrown. So that all that stuff's great. But as you stated, there's also a part of it that you look at and you say, hey, we want to make sure that when you do get those opportunities, we make the most of them. And by doing that, one of the first things that has to happen is you catch the football. So if you're looking for that new ride, save big at Royal Buick GMC. Here are some of the discounts you're going to find. You can get a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 SLT Premium Plus with the sunroof and 6.2-liter engine. List priced $70,590, reduced to $55,599. That's a savings of $15,000. Check out the 2026 Encore GX SUV loaded with Avenir trim package. It lists $38,040. Buy it today for $33,040. Take advantage of a $5,000 price reduction. All offers valid through November 3rd, 2025. Save money and upgrade your ride at Royal Buick GMC, home of the $75 dock fee. Royal Buick GMC at the corner of I-65 and Highway 31 of Vestavia. Online at royalbuickgmc.net. Remember, for every ride, there's Royal. So we've mentioned about everything I think that we can on this Alabama-Vandy game. We went Texas, Florida. You actually said you got to watch a little bit more of my game over the weekend. What are your kind of thoughts, 1,000-foot view on Texas A&M right now?
I love them. I think they're great. I love how they ran the ball. I think they got things going a bit there. I think they got a really good 1-2 punch at running back, if not more. I liked what I saw a little bit from Marcel Reed using his legs as well. They still maintain a lot of problems that you can create outside with the catch and runs and how those guys are after the catch. Like I think there's a lot to like about Texas A&M. Like a lot to like. I'm a big believer.
Well, and the front is just nasty. I mean, Cassius Howell can obviously beat you one-on-ones. You got Regis that can give you problems inside. I mean, they don't even need all the creativity that Elko and company are going to give you on a regular basis, but they're going to at least show it and make you respect it. And that picture is going to change for quarterbacks, and the picture is going to change for the offensive line too, based on who's pressuring, who's not, where they're coming from, who's actually coming. It's just a problem. And they 100%. Have been 1 of 23 on third down the last 2 games. That's just pure insanity. And I mean, I like the offensive line. I think they're in a little bit of an LSU situation from a year ago, Greg, where they don't really get the chance to lean on people very often.
Yeah.
Now, when they do, I think they can be that group, and they get good help from the tight ends. The backs are obviously fantastic. Um, but man, Marcel Reed, he still misses some layups, and he Colin Klein told us a little bit. He said, he hesitates at times, and we saw in the game. Jordan pointed it out perfectly. He kind of double pumped on a ball, patted a ball one extra time, and then he doesn't step into his throw, and the throw sails, and it's a little bit of a wobbler. So I don't know how much you think of that can be cleaned up, but if they're going to win a national title, I feel like that consistency is going to have to get better from Marcel Reed.
Yeah, I mean, I think winning a national championship is a whole nother level because you don't get do-overs against teams that are playing at that level. And look, they have a lot of road tests coming up. Like this will provide a good test for them this week against Florida. They have a lot of road tests coming up that are going to be tricky, and you cannot leave plays on the field against the best teams in the college football world. You can't leave them on the field. You just can't. And he does from time to time. It doesn't mean that won't at some point flush. Hopefully it will. But right now there are some missed opportunities for sure that could take this team from great to elite. And I think the missing layups is probably the biggest thing at this point that would concern me long-term about winning a national championship.
Yeah, it's. I think the defense is there. Second level plays great. They attack. They can run. They can play you sideline to sideline. And you saw. I think Jeff wanted to try to attack them there early, get stuff going on the perimeter, and then try to hit them downhill a little bit. And it didn't feel like the offense unlocked until they allowed Marcel Reed to run. And I found this interesting. I'll get your thoughts on this. Colin Klein and Mike Elko both told us emphatically, Greg, they said, we want him to be a pocket passer. We are attempting to make him into a pocket passer. And we need him to be that with the capability to run. So for people that are saying, why don't they run him? Or where are the Q runs? Why don't they do that? Well, that might be your answer right there, is
right.
They are going out of their way to make sure he can be that. And I think the thought process is we're going to probably have to have a guy that can step in the pocket and make throws if we're going to win an SEC or national championship. And so they want to try to help him become that first because they know he can run.
Yes, and I think that it's not necessary at this point. And I'm not saying that Mississippi State is comparable to that of Kent State or whatever, right? I mean, it's not the same. But sometimes in some matchups where you need to work developmentally on areas of weakness, and you deliberately prioritize those things in order to be better down the road for what might be coming in tougher circumstances. So I think they've done a pretty good job of addressing some of those things, and they got to continue to be better there. But pretty optimistic about where that offense could go. Like the personnel is there. It's just, can they do it against the top competition? That's the big question. Because I don't know if they have yet. Not against defenses yet. Not against the best defenses in the country just yet.
Right. And just haven't had that opportunity. And we'll see how that goes for Marcel Reed when he does get the chance to step up and maybe have those opportunities against some better defenses. Nonetheless, he's been impressive. A&M was impressive. I mean, they stepped on the gas. And I think on the flip side of that, Mississippi State ran out of gas. And they were not going to have time to push the ball down the field. And you have to have that in that offense. They had a couple runs go, a little bit of the quick game, but when that becomes neutralized and you start getting in third and longs, you need time to operate, and the offensive line couldn't do it. That place, I'll tell you this, Greg, that place was on tilt Saturday night. It was as loud of an environment. Doesn't always mean intimidating. Doesn't always mean as raucous, but just overall noise is about as loud as any place I've been.
Yeah,
I mean it was up there with Knoxville, Swamp, Baton Rouge. Like it was up there, man. Like it was impressive. Just how the fans got into it, what they did. It was pretty cool because that's a loud stadium, man, and they were having fun. It was a cool environment Saturday night, no doubt. Blackout.
Awesome.
I mean, they bought into the blackout too, so it was pretty cool.
It looked awesome. It really did. It looked really, really good. So I'm not surprised to see them play well in that environment. But big problem with A&M is they still have 4 difficult road trips coming up. To me, I think they'll be fine at home. I think they're going to be in a good spot at home. I do. I think it's going to be hard to beat the Aggies in Kyle Field this year with how they're built. But can that show go on the road? That's a question for me. I know they did it in South Bend. I get that. But against teams that might match up slightly better, it might be a little bit more advanced, will that efficiency on both sides continue? Because I think that's the key. I mean, you still have road trips to LSU, still have road trips to a few other spots. Like I got some tough ones coming up now.
No doubt. All right, so that's Texas A&M and Mississippi State from over the weekend. Another really good game, and at least it was for three quarters. And A&M kind of walked away late, but fun, competitive. We'll go outside the SEC, talk about a little bit of what went down there next, right here on Jocks. Welcome back in, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 9:30 Monday, October 6th, right here on Jocks 94.5. Go to a couple of games around college football outside the SEC here in just a moment, but there's a reason Auburn Athletics hand-selected Andrew Sports Medicine's Dr. Benton Imlam and Charles Pitts to serve as their team physicians. They provide the highest quality sports medicine care in an effort to keep the Tiger student-athletes safe, healthy, and competing at the highest level. If Andrew Sports Medicine is a choice for Auburn Athletics, there's no doubt they should be your family's number one choice for sports medicine and orthopedic care. Andrew Sports Medicine, 7 locations across central Alabama: Birmingham, Coleman, Gardendale, Hoover, Pelham, and Trussville. They offer same-day, next-day appointments for acute sports injuries. Visit injurysportsmedicine.com today to begin your journey of achieving victory over injury. Was a big weekend in college football. The not that we put too much into the AP top 25, but Ohio State is now atop it. And I don't know exactly what we take away from 42-3 over Minnesota, GMAC, other than this is a team that we need to be talking about, if not the one of the 2, 3, 4 best teams in college football. 326 yards for Julian Sayin. Not as good on the ground as maybe what it had been, but they allowed Minnesota to convert 1 third down in this game. They were 1 of 11. And Ohio State did go for 135-68 on the ground for Minnesota. It was a dominant performance, and the speed on defense, the physicality on the offensive line, things that not a lot of people are really mentioning, talking about, and they're kind of doing this in maybe ways that we didn't really expect. I mean, I think we thought Jeremiah Smith would just take over every game. Carnell Tate 9 for 183. I mean, Smith has not been the Superman in a lot of their games, which I think is great for Ohio State because you're winning in different ways, and you're winning in what maybe not a lot of people thought you would be able to win. Some of that is your quarterback directing traffic. I mean, 23 of 27, that's an impressive day no matter what. So
right.
Just kind of interested if your opinion even changed at all on Ohio State after this game.
I don't know if I'd go as far as to say my opinions changed. They kind of are who they are in my eyes. Like, nothing's really been adjusted for me. Like, I feel very confident in Ohio State. I like their quarterback. I think their quarterback's efficient. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say their quarterback at this point is like a super dynamic difference maker. I don't know if he needs to be, not with how they're playing defense and not with how things have gone for them from a standpoint of running the football, creating an offense that's a little bit more balanced and trying to be a little less quarterback dependent. They've kind of morphed into that this year.
Yeah. UAB goes down to Army 31-13 over the weekend. Army 2-3, UAB 2-3, 2-0 in conference. Kidna was 24-42, 259 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. As you can imagine, Army successful on the ground, 61 carries, 247 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. UAB goes for just 103 yards on the ground. Tough day, tough opponent, GMAC, with that offense and how it's morphed a little bit. It's a little different. UAB did outgain Army 362 to 295, but 2 turnovers. Army wins a possession, doesn't turn it over. 11 flags for UAB. Just some of the sloppy play. They're not going to start getting wins until they can start to discontinue some of those things.
Yeah, and I think that's unfortunate too, because this is it doesn't get much easier. I mean, it's a tough league across the board, almost as tough as any in the G5. So it's important for them to get back on track. But man, it's tough sledding for sure in that league. Across every matchup you have will be a challenging one.
Battle of the Belt goes to Troy, 31-24 in overtime. Troy 3-2. South Alabama goes to 1-5 on the season. Tucker Kilcrease 13-21, 203, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He also ran 19 times for 102 yards. 265 yards rushing for South Alabama, but that's not enough to get it done against the Trojans as they grab the belt, and we'll be able to hang on to that for an entire year. You'll have to wait to hear us talk about a couple other in-state scores, GMAC, but one thing you never have to wait for is your dental care.
That's because Family Care Dental has you taken care of. They're the urgent care office you can be seen the same day in several locations to make it easy on you. In Hoover, Fultondale, Homewood, Alabaster, and Trussville, they can get you in the same day. They can get you treated. They can get you taken care of. And they accept most insurance plans. And they're open on Fridays and Saturdays. So call Family Care Dental today at 874-9605. That's Family Care Dental, 874-9605.
Sanford goes down over the weekend, 45-21. Sanford 0-6. Been a rough one. Mercer's now 4-1. Braden Atkinson goes for 365 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Brady Stober, just 234, 2 touchdowns and a pick through the air for Sanford. They ran for just 61 yards in the game. Ty Doughty ran for 105 for Mercer, so a tough outing for the Bulldogs as you just kind of wonder if they're going to be able to find that offense, get things going. Just a brutal one. More scores to get to, more scores to discuss. Obviously, some other in-state. Alabama State knocked off Bethune 52-35. And Alabama A&M went down to Jackson State 57-24 over the weekend. We'll get to a few more outside the SEC. Continue talking some national college football next right here on Jocks. back in McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 9:40 Monday, October the 6th, right here on Jocks. GMAC, before we get into a few other scores from around college football, tell our listeners about Canty.
Well, Canty, they can fix it. That's for sure. The foundation specialist, new to the area, but terrific across the board. And there's a lot of things here in Alabama that can lead to problems with your foundation, whether it's the soil shifting, uneven ground, moisture, weather, including just the age of your home. So if you notice cracks in the walls, in the floors, or around windows and doors, if you notice doors and windows not sticking or not closing properly, there's maybe some gaps in the crown molding or the baseboards, those are issues and signs that might be problematic down the road with your foundation. That's why you got to call Canty Foundation Specialists. They offer free inspections and estimates so homeowners know exactly what's going on under their house, and their work is backed by a lifetime transferable warranty. Call them today at 205-509-3991 or go online to Canty Can Fix It. That's CANTEY canfixit.com. That's cantycanfixit.com.
I know I sent you a couple of clips, but you won't watch Oklahoma Kent State, correct?
I'll watch it because they play Red River this week.
Okay. I was just wondering if you had seen or what you've seen, because apparently somebody took a quote from me on the show earlier saying that if you want to know why Texas is favored, just go watch Michael Hawkins against Kent State. It was rough, man. Like, and I'm not trying to pick on the kid. I'm not trying to like find a way to get clicks or anything, but I mean, you saw a little bit of it at least of what I sent you, and there were other parts that were worse than that. I mean, it was throwing off balance, like throwing to areas where there were no receivers, indecisiveness. I don't know how to best describe it, GMAC, but if you don't think it's not going to be vastly different with him in the game than John Mateer, you got another thing coming. Like it's not going to be in the same stratosphere as it was with Mateer in the game.
No, but I don't think anyone expects it to be that. The big question is how will they run the football? I mean, I think you got to be able to run the football in this situation. I think they have a couple good backs. I think Hawkins could be an effective runner as well. I don't expect them to light you up through the air. That's unlikely. I think you got to be able to run the football, and the defense got to be fantastic for Oklahoma to win the game. I have not watched it. I will admit I have not watched Oklahoma's game against Kent State yet. But there were times last year where I felt like Hawkins threw it okay, especially on some of the downfield stuff. I don't expect him to, carve you up, with a bunch of catch and run throws. It'd be helpful. It'd be great. But I don't think that's really who he is. I think he's kind of a big play guy that can keep you honest with his legs. And I think they'll protect him some. But yeah, I mean, it's not the same. I mean, it's not John Mateer. I mean, I don't think anyone expects it to be either, though.
Well, I think the problem is you can't run the ball. So there's not going to be a run game to protect him that he's going to be able to go off of. So from that perspective, I'm not real sure how much you can build around him to help aid him and help make things, better. So it's going to be interesting to see sort of how they go into that game and say, yeah, this is what we feel confident we can do. Maybe you get some of the quick game, the extensions of the run game, like you said, protect him with, bonus bigs, some extra tight ends in the game, multiple backs, but I don't know. They can't do to the Texas defense what Florida just did. The offensive line's not good enough. So that's where I think just take the under. I don't even know what it is. What's the total in this game? Take the under. That's what I would do.
That's the play.
I'm trying to see if I can find it right now. I don't even
stand by.
42 and a half. 42 and a half. Take the under in this game right now. There's not going to be a ton of points in this one because Oklahoma's definitely not giving up points. If the Texas offensive line's been struggling with everybody else's group, I always say this. It's Kent State, and I get it. It's fair. But if you want to see a complete and utter obliteration, watch Oklahoma's defensive line from Saturday. It was ugly, to say the least. And I get it. I know the level of opponent. I'm not trying to say they're good just because of that, but it was what you expect a dominant defensive line to look like against Kent State, and it was every bit of it. So, and they will have a lot of big moments in this game. So I would expect not too many points in that one. There you go. That's my lock of the week already. It's Monday at 9:44, and there's your lock of the week. Red River under. Take it now.
Love it. A game
Slam
that
it.
usually
Hammer
is always high scoring. Let's go under.
Not this year. Not this year. It won't be. Usually
Different
has good.
styles.
Usually has good offenses, and without John Mateer this year, it doesn't have good offenses. So that's it. That's what it's going to be. So yeah, I don't know if you see it going in a different direction, but I'm not sure how you could. When you saw Georgia this weekend, are there things that you see that are a little bit problematic against Kentucky that Auburn can take advantage of? Like, what are the areas based on what you saw against Kentucky for Auburn to be able to find some success against Georgia?
Well, I think you have to be patient in the run game. I think that's the big key. You have to be patient. I think the big part about playing Georgia this year, it requires tremendous patience. Look, if you all of a sudden are hitting a bunch of throws downfield and stuff, that's great. That's awesome. But I just don't know if that's the way Auburn's going to consistently move the football. I don't know. Are you super confident in Jackson Arnold dropping back and throwing it 30 times?
Nope.
I'm not either. So I think you need to kind of throw it. I think if you go over 25 attempts in the game, then that's not a good thing. I think you want to be at around 20, 25 attempts. You want to stay committed to the run game. I want Jackson Arnold to get 10 carries on design quarterback runs. I want Jeremiah Cobb to get 15. I want Alston to get 10. And I think if you can somehow do that with 25 attempted dropbacks, then you're probably in a pretty good spot because Jackson Arnold's probably going to have 2 or 3 scrambles. So now you're looking at 10 to 12 for him, or 12 to 13 for him overall. You get 15 there. That's 28 from Cobb. You get another 10 from Alston. Now you're at 38, and you drop back 25 times. 63 offensive snaps, cooking with gas. I think that's exactly what you have to do.
Okay, there you go. I don't see a lot of. I do think Auburn's defense can have some success. I think up front they can get some wins because the Georgia offensive line is pretty much hit or miss right now. I mean, they're basically, they're Mark McGuire. They're more like Rob Deere. They're gonna hit 176, 38 home runs, and strike out 192 times. That's what they are. They're big play artists, and your offensive line can't operate that way. And you have a consistent offense. You just can't. But they're gonna throw guys out of the club, and they're gonna knock guys on their back, and then they're gonna whiff. And they're not going to be able to exchange the twist, and they're not going to stay on a double team, and they're just going to get pushed backwards. And it's really hit or miss with that Georgia offensive line right now. So I do think that Kieron Crawford and company can probably find a couple of negative plays, but we've seen Gunnar Stockton be able to offset those, move around a little bit. And there have been certain ways that the passing game has found success against this Auburn defense, and I would expect that Mike Bobo knows what that is, and he's probably going to try to attack it. So you'll have that going for you as well. Your CBD store has a lot of things going for you that can help. If you're looking to lose a little bit of weight, your CBD store has the Trim by SunMed on the shelves as we speak. Largest brick and mortar CBD retailer in the world. First company to have USDA certified organic oil supplements. They've got the stamp seal on the products. Those products have to meet and achieve a certain set of standards and tests to be signed off on. So they're going to be good products. If it's arthritis, anxiety for you or your pet, if it's skincare, gut health for you, they want to help you there. They can help you out with that. If it's products for energy to get you going during the day, better focus throughout the course of the day. The Lion's Mane products are in now, and they are open, and everything is still operating, regardless of what the news says, at your CBD store. 3 locations, Highway 280 by Bailey Brother, 150 by the Cajun Cleaver, and Trussell just off 459. Your CBD store where good health hits home. All right, let's get to our bad box scores, plural, of the day.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
Intentional grounding, offense number 7. It's a 10-yard penalty. I'm talking to America here, excuse me.
That's the game.
The first good news for bad box score of the day, the Soldotna.
They are the Stars.
Stars.
They took out the North Pole.
Polar Bears?
Santas.
Huskies?
You would think Sandals would just work. No, they're the Patriots. What else would they be?
No, naturally. They're very patriotic on the North Pole.
They are. And Soldotna is back 49-19 over the weekend. That wraps up an undefeated regular season for our chosen sons
Let's
of the
go.
Soldotna Stars. 8-0, 7-0 in conference, ranked number 1, and they'll enter the playoffs next week. And obviously, we'll keep you posted if there's another bad box score of the day there. From there, we go to junior college football. If your name begins with Community Christian, you're probably showing up in the bad box score. This
Why?
one not from California, this one from Michigan. Community Christian College parentheses Michigan. They are the
Timberwolves.
They're not. Their California brethren are the Saints. These are not the Saints.
Oh, so they're the Devils. Okay.
No, not going that far on the other side of things.
Oh.
They're the Lions.
I'll go Wildcats.
No, Lions. Close, but Lions.
Close enough.
Now, this one I
That's a mad
absolutely
cat.
love. They went down to the Garden City Community College.
Daisies.
No.
Ooh.
Are they the Pirates?
No.
I'm going to say the Tugboats.
That would be fantastic, by the way. They're the Bronkbusters.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The what?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I kind of want some gear, honestly, just because y'all are the Bronkbusters. And I think they busted every Bronc in the stable to the tune of 89-0 over the weekend. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
12 in the first, 42 points in the second. So, yes, the
Little
score was
explosion.
55-0.
Second half or second quarter?
Second quarter,
Oh.
42
Ah.
points. 13-21 in the third and fourth. So, yes, this coach is not good because he scored fewer points in the second half than the first half. Still a lot of points, though. Your first down differential, 31-7.
There we go.
Your third down efficiency for Community Christian of Michigan, you probably guessed it was 0 for 11. Add that to 1 of 5 on fourth down, which gives you, 1 of 16 on conversion downs. It's not the best that
Hey,
we've seen.
they got one.
They did get one.
Behind the chains, man.
Yeah, and you know what they didn't get is 100 total yards of offense
Oh,
because
boy.
they were outgained 593 to
boy.
96
Yikes.
on 53 plays.
53?
The best part is they had 97 net yards passing.
Which means.
They were -1 net yards in the rushing department.
All right.
Garden City Community College rushed the ball 45 times to the tune of 412 yards.
Ground and pound, baby.
I think it was more ground and run.
More pound and
And
pound,
just
really.
nobody get in the way. By the way, to go with what GMAC would normally point out there, Garden City only had 2 sacks in this game. Keep in mind, 21 carries, -1 yards for Community Christian.
So a lot of TFLs.
Just not a lot of blocking. Now, Marvell Baker did not have the best day passing for Community Christian. He went 12 of 32
Ooh.
for 97 yards. He did complete a 20-yard pass, though. Now, as you obviously know, because of the score, he didn't throw a touchdown. He did, however, throw 5 interceptions.
That's where they
That's-
got him.
That does.
Yeah, you're
I've
right,
heard
Damian,
that
that
turnover
is.
margin matters.
It does.
Tanner Helton was 4 of 7 for 99 yards and a touchdown. Jaden Sisk would come in for Garden City, 5 of 10 for 82 yards, 2 touchdowns. There were 7 players that ran for more than 30 yards in the game for Garden City.
That's what we call depth.
6 players rushed for a touchdown.
Let's go. Spread the
6.
wealth.
And by the way,
6.
John Randall Jr. had 7 for 86 and 3 touchdowns. Do not know if he's related to the
Is
former
it
Played
related
just
to-
like his daddy. Played
I
just
don't
like
know.
his daddy.
Wait, so what was his stat line?
7 carries, 86 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Let's go.
Well, his dad was like, what, 6'1",
I don't know
290?
if that's his dad at all. I don't know if that's
Well,
him
we're
or
just
not.
going to
His
assume.
name is literally
Let's
Junior.
just
Of course
assume.
it's his dad.
It has to be him.
Gotta be.
Yeah, it's definitely his son.
What
Has
do you
to
mean
be.
it has to be? It definitely doesn't have to. We don't know.
No, it could. No, come on. It has to be. No doubt. There's only 2 John Randalls in the world, John Randall and John Randall Jr.
Those are the only ones.
Double
I'm trying
first
to-
name too, so that's good.
He's a junior, JR.
Let's
There
go.
you go.
What a name.
I'm trying to see if I can find. I'm on the roster and I don't see him on. Oh, wait, here he is. He's from Wichita, Kansas. That's working against you already. 6 foot
Nope,
190.
it's definitely nope,
6 foot
definitely
190?
him.
Huh.
All right, he fits the profile of possibility.
Well, one profile.
Let's see. News? No. Career stats, split stats, player profile. They give you like no bio or nothing. Just all they got is stats. That's the only thing on his profile. That's all I got.
That's it.
That's the only thing. I got career stats, game log, split stats, and news. And the news is just articles about them winning games.
Hey, that's good news.
I mean, I guess.
Great
A
news.
little bit about the kid would be nice, you know? From Wichita Heights High School. So I don't think that answers our question. Donovan Moore had a good day. 1 catch, 68 yards, and a touchdown.
That boy Demo.
That's a 68-yard average per catch.
There you go. And Asher Horn had 2 of those 5 interceptions on the day. So yeah, it was a pretty good day. If you wanted to go like we mentioned with the TFLs for Garden City, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different players recorded a tackle for loss. That's why you rush for -1 yards in a game.
It happens.
Like I said, refusal to block is where we went on that. All right, appreciate you guys being in. Appreciate Tyler Watts, Paul Feinbaum, DJ Shockley. If you missed any of it, catch the podcast, jocksfm.com, wherever you get yours. Watch the show back on YouTube. Search Jocks945 there. You can always check us out. We're back tomorrow, 7 to 10 a.m. Andy Bertram joins us at 8 to preview Auburn, Georgia. And we'll get you started on this week's college football games as well as hitting some of the national games that we did not get to today. Keep it locked. 3-man front coming at you next, followed by Paul Feinbaum. College football discussion all day long right here on Jocks.